What's up, guys? We're at Pearl Harbor. Gonna check it out. 75th anniversary coming up this year. Let's see what's inside. That was a crazy day. All right, here's some things that I wanted to clarify about going to Pearl Harbor. The Arizona Memorial, if you're just going to do that, it's free. Okay, so they do have a website, I'll leave it on the bottom, that you can make reservations for, and they do give out 1,300 walk-in tickets. So if you're paranoid and you want to make sure you get tickets, make the reservation. Otherwise, you have to rely on those 1,300 tickets. And on weeks like this, or on times like summer break or Christmas break, those 1,300 tickets can go fast. Like by 8 o'clock, gone. Okay, so make sure you don't miss your time, because if you do, they may not have any more tickets for you. So it's free. All the other stuff you got to pay for, like the Bowfin and the Missouri and the Pacific Aviation Museum. What I recommend doing is buying the passport for that. So like if by chance for some reason you can't make it because you spent too much time in one area, you can come back another day, pay like $10, and then extend that passport for one more day. That has to be done within a 7 consecutive day string. So Arizona Memorial, if you're just going to do that, is free. Number 2, there's no bags in this place, okay? There's a baggage check that you can put your stuff in, but if you're a photographer, like had my tripod, my flexible tripod with me, my gimbal, and my rig, if you take all of that stuff with you, it can get pretty bothersome. So to clarify that, no purses, no backpacks, no little itty bitty tiny purses, and fanny packs. You know what? If you have a fanny pack, they probably shouldn't let you in Pearl Harbor anyway. But if you have any of those things, you can bring them with you, but you have to go check them in the baggage claim area. Now, getting on to the thing that bothered me at Pearl Harbor. So, if you watch part 2, and if you haven't, I'll leave the links for both part 1 and part 2 on the bottom. But in part 2, I was shooting a bunch of ladies singing, and it was cool because in the front of me, there was a Pearl Harbor survivor, and then to the left of me was a gentleman, a World War II veteran that served in a different theater. But they were having a good time. What bothered me was this. As I was filming that one area, to the back of me, there was a bunch of Pearl Harbor survivors and World War II veterans moving from the submarine park over to the theater. Now, in between us was, I would say, around 150 to 200 students from different states. Some of them were performing in a band. Some of them were from Hawaii in a field trip. Not one of those kids, I would say they were in 7th or 8th grade, turned around to recognize the gentleman passing just to the rear of them, not more than 5 feet. And there is no way you could not notice them, okay? These were guys dressed in World War II uniforms, being pushed in wheelchairs with Pearl Harbor survivor on their hats, being helped in their walkers by people from Pearl Harbor, volunteers. Not one of them. And this was almost like 100-yard procession of gentlemen walking down that way. And I watched them. As they were going down that way, I could see other active duty members saying hello, thank you, and other civilians recognize it. In fact, when I was in the movie theater watching the 23-minute video before you go into the Arizona Memorial, to the right of me was a couple from India. To the left of me was a couple from Japan, and they had their kids. And after the video, they were emotional. I was emotional. I've never met a Pearl Harbor survivor. I lived here all my life, and to meet so much of them in one area, I mean, these guys aren't going to be around here much longer. I don't think they're going to make the 100th year anniversary. And you know, I came off the Missouri, the memorial, and then the USS Bowfin, so I'm swelling with all this pride, and to see that, I mean, maybe I'm overreacting, but that really, it bummed me out. It brought me way down that not one of those kids turned around to say what's up. There wasn't a chaperone or a teacher anywhere in sight to make them do it. And you shouldn't have to make somebody do anything. But I'm wondering, is that what they're teaching in school? I mean, those are the reasons. The guys passing right behind you are the reason that you're at the park. So that really bummed me out. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to bring up was I had a couple viewers already ask me why I didn't include the Pacific Aviation Museum in this set. And the answer to that is I really just wanted to focus on the items that were there during World War II. And I realized that there are items in the museum that were there at World War II, but the building itself wasn't there. And it's a magnificent structure, and I wanted to make a separate video on that. It really deserves its own piece. And I also thought that part 2 is getting long, and I really felt that Punch Bowl Cemetery, National Cemetery, needed to be in there to draw like a full circle conclusion on that. And if you look and watch the very ending of part 2, and if you haven't seen those, I'll leave the links to the bottom I'll leave the links to them on the bottom or somewhere over here. But the last frame is a headstone that says 25 unknown, USS Arizona, December 7th, 1941, and Punchbowl is full of those and people that were there during the attack on December 7th, 1941, and I felt it was necessary to put that in there. But that's all I got for you guys. If you haven't seen those videos, watch them. I think they're super cool and very informative, especially if you're planning a trip to Pearl Harbor. I'll catch you guys later.